a barbell back squat, and I'm going to take you through a lot of the mistakes that I see as well so that you know what to look for. The squat is an excellent exercise. It's using your core, your back, your quads, your glutes, your hamstrings. It's working pretty much everything, which is why it's so important to be doing it properly. I thought I would leave everything unassembled so you can kind of see how to set it up at a gym. So at a squat rack, you might see something like these. I'm going to put them at about shoulder height, so not the insertion, but where this peg part sticks out, I want to be at my shoulder height. So let's do that on the other side. There we go. And then I'm going to pick up my bar and put it on the rack. These bars are about 45 pounds. So if you are doing a goblet squat and then in preparation for this, because you're not quite here yet, once you're squatting about 25 pounds in a goblet squat, that's when you're usually ready to progress to a barbell back squat, or you can keep doing a goblet squat, whatever you're comfortable with. But I do encourage you to try this. So biggest mistakes that I see, I'll do it first, is people squatting with their knees caving in. So make sure that your knees are always facing the same direction as your toes. The other thing is that I see people either starting the squat with their knees like this, there's too much pressure on the knees, or they stick their hips way back, and then when they get to the bottom, their butt curls under like this. That's called a butt wink. We do not want that. That puts a lot of pressure on your low back. So whenever you're squatting, think about just doing a little bit of a hip hinge and then squatting back, squatting nice and low. Try to get below knee height. That's the goal. If you can't do that, it's okay. You can use a chair or a bench or risers like this to help you. But one thing that usually helps people with a butt wink is going down. Think about pushing your knees out, and that's just going to create a little bit more space in your hips for you. If you're like this, you're more likely to arch your lower back, round your lower back a little bit. So let's say I approach my bar. Foot position is very important, so I'll show you that in a second. But I'm going to put my hands on the bar evenly. This part right here is going to go across the middle of my back. I'm going to go under my bar, put it across my back, pick it up. Feet are going to be, for me, it's totally dependent on the person and their hip anatomy. But for me, I like it just a little bit wider than shoulder width. And then my toes are always going to be out. So toes should always be about like 45 degrees. So toes 45, and then I'm going to tuck my elbows in, brace my core so my ribs are not flaring, my butt's not sticking out. I've got my butt tucked under, my ribs are tucked, and then I'm going to hinge back a little bit with my hips, bend the knees, squat, push back up, and then squeeze my butt at the top. You might be thinking about your feet. Some people are 2 in their toes, some people are 2 in their heels. Think about your foot as 3 points of contact, so your heel under your little pinky toe and then your big toe. So if I wasn't wearing a shoe, my feet would look like this. So I'm gripping the floor with my foot. My arch is off of the floor. So I'm like this. I've got my bar on my back and then squatting with the knees facing the same direction as the toes, just like that. So like this. I think that is pretty much it. I'll just show you a few more. So under here like this, feet shoulder width apart, toes at 45 degrees. I'm gripping the floor, my arches are off the ground, and then squatting down like that. One big myth is that your knees cannot pass your toes. That is complete garbage. You absolutely can allow your knees to pass your toes. In fact, if you can, you should. It's going to prevent you from lifting with your back and is going to encourage your body to lift with your glutes more. So if you think about me squatting, I'm going to be going down. Say I'm squatting with my knees behind my toes. So I'm like this. If I have a bar on my back, the load is coming from my back like this. If I allow my knees to go before my toes, I'm now just going to be squatting with my glutes and my quads more. So do not try to keep your knees behind your toes. That's a myth. Just squat how it feels natural. And if you are concerned about your form or anything like that, take a video and watch your form. That can be really, really helpful to make sure that you're doing this properly. So enjoy. Happy squatting.